Hello, my name is April Hawkins and I teach 2nd grade at O.H. Still Elementary. Classroom management is important because it gives kids structure. If you set expectations, it will be much easier for you and everybody else in your classroom to know what they're supposed to do. In my first years of teaching, I really struggled with classroom management because I had such a diverse classroom. I had some crazy boys and some really bright, good girls and some drama going on, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I had a color changing system like a lot of teachers do, but it just really didn't seem to work for me because even when good kids would do something wrong and I had to hold them accountable for their actions and they had to change their color, it was a really big deal and there would be crying involved and it was awful. It was awful. It was awful for everybody. I felt bad. They felt bad about themselves, and so I knew something had to change. I would say with my color changing system, the thing that was really lacking was kids weren't really responsible for their own behavior and their own choices. It was me making the responsibility decisions for them. If they did something, I would say, you did something wrong, go change your color. And then it would result in a whole bunch of, but I didn't get in trouble last time for that, and you gave me a bunch of warnings for that, and whatnot. And so it just was not structured enough for everybody. So now my current system is a whole lot better. We do behavior check-ins 3 to 4 times a day. And they basically are taking the responsibility for their actions. If they have followed all the school rules and they have not affected anyone's safety or their learning, then they receive what we call 2 beaver paws. I don't really know if beavers have paws, but that's what we call them because it's cute, instead of saying like beaver claws. So anyway, they give themselves 2 beaver paws if they followed all those rules. Now, if they didn't follow one of the rules, they accept responsibility and they might offer themselves 1 paw instead. And then if they really had a rough morning or a rough time until that next check-in, they might offer themselves 0 paws, or if they really affected someone's learning. And so it's been really good because it also offers up dialogue. We do concerns for other people or compliments for other people, and it allows us not to have to deal with things right in the moment whenever emotions are high and everything's crazy. We can take a step back and reflect on what happened earlier, and it's not so emotional and it's not so awful. They can lose up to 3 paws, and if they lose 3 paws, then they get a beaver behavior report. But really, it keeps those kids accountable for their actions. The range of concerns that my kids might have for each other, or I might have from them, is very wide. Sometimes the concerns are very small, like, she was sitting in my spot and I want to sit there. Well, we talk about have you talked to that person about that? Did you ask them in a nice way, to move, or if it was your spot, or etc., etc. And usually I just say, okay, you just need to brush those concerns off because they're not a big deal. They're not really affecting your learning. They're not affecting your safety. They're not really breaking one of the school rules. Let's just let those slide off and let's choose a different spot on the carpet. And then we have the big concerns that are a big deal, like she was looking on my paper and copying off of me. That is definitely affecting someone else's learning and breaking school rules. Also, of course, if somebody gets really hurt on the playground and whatnot, those are big deals, but we have dialogue about it. Was it an accident? Did you talk to them about it first? things like this, and this is the other part of the responsibility being in their hands, to take care of it before they even get to a behavior check-in. Compliments are also accepted at behavior check-in times, as well as concerns, and they're my favorite, and I tell the kids I'd much rather you have a compliment for someone than a concern for someone. The compliments usually are, "Jaylee, you've been my best friend for like the whole year." Or they might be, "Jaden, you totally rock." Or, "I have a compliment for Melanie because she was super fast in PE and we won the game." And so they foster a really positive environment in our classroom, and it creates, almost a little family unit, as you become in the classroom. So I love compliment time, and I suggest it highly for everybody. My administrators are in full support of this behavior plan because it supports our school behavior plan as well. We have consequences for actions when paws are taken away. Kids lose recess time, and if more paws are taken away, they might lose a Fantastic Friday time, and then if more paws are taken away, then there has to be a parent conference, and then if more paws are taken away or things are occurring every day and they're the same every day, then it's time to include an administrator in this plan. But we've already had all these steps leading up to it with this plan. And it also helps document what has been going on and why it's reoccurring and what we've done to already talk through it and take care of it. And so they give this plan 2 thumbs up. I would say that this plan that we have works for about 95% of students. The other 5%, of course, are your kids that are just special needs. They require more time and more energy and more behavior interventions, and we come up with separate behavior plans for them. They might still participate in our behavior check-ins and whatnot, but we would have something else in place to help them be successful. And usually when it comes to that point, an administrator is involved and the parents are involved in this plan, and we get something going. So I would say that this is effective for most students, but not all. My advice to any first-year teacher working on their classroom management skills has got to be stay calm, use a calm voice, and try not to ever yell. Yelling really, it just stirs up your emotions and it stirs up their emotions, and it doesn't get you very far. Having a relationship with your students is so important. And they know that whenever I get really quiet, it's really time to listen. And so that's my piece of advice, is just to stay calm and have fun with your kids.
Thank you, Mrs. Hawkins, for sharing your experiences with classroom management.
It was no problem, my pleasure.